to What's Up in E&U by Prolifics, your go-to podcast for electrifying insights into the energy and utilities world. I'm your host, KP, and joining us today is Swati Dora, an expert in the E&U field and the author of a recent blog on integration. We're excited to ask her some follow-up questions based on her insights. And if you haven't read her blog, I highly recommend. Welcome, Swati. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you so much, KP. I'm very much excited for this podcast with you.
Yeah, this is great. So let's get started. Your blog mentions enjoying some Tom and Jerry reruns, and it resonates with many of us. It's a fantastic way to introduce the concept of integration. Your use of a relatable example like connecting your laptop to the TV for a better viewing experience beautifully illustrates how integration works in our daily lives. Can you elaborate on how this analogy applies to the integration needs in the E&U sector?
Absolutely. Like who doesn't love to wind up after a busy 9 hours day, right? So yeah, I love watching Tom and Jerry episodes, and that's how I kind of got the idea to write a blog about integration in E&U. So it kind of addresses the crucial need of optimizing your resource distribution and enhancing grid resilience. But your main impact is for your customer and employee experience, right? That's your end goal. And for integration, you kind of incorporate the smart technology that will ensure your real-time monitoring. It will facilitate the integration of renewable energy resources, which kind of aligns with the world's goal, right? Not only US's specific to E&U industry goal. It kind of resonates with the world's goal of reaching a sustainable and efficient ecosystem that will benefit both the consumers as well as the industry personnel too.
Absolutely. Thank you. So it's basically like just making sure everything's connected, running smoothly, and all the system, everything's talking to each other, right?
Right.
So speaking of systems, the government's Building a Better Grid initiative sounds like a big deal. How does integration help us handle all of the data needed for projects like this?
Absolutely. Yeah, Building a Better Grid initiative would last for a couple of years, and it will help us to establish a unified platform, right? It will streamline your data collection, management, and analytics through smart technologies, which will enable the real-time insights into energy consumption and performance while considering the environmental factors. It will basically be a holistic approach that will enable the industry personnel and even the consumers to make some informed decision making, right? You all of us know about demand-based pricing and stuff, which will which will help both the side of the parties. And by handling data this comprehensively, integration kind of ensures that the initiative operates with agility, adaptability, and adapt to the changing demands. And it will be in line with like more sustainable grid.
So just a follow-up question based off of what you just said. What's the risk, or what are companies missing out on if they're not preparing in this way, if they're not modernizing, if they're not making sure if their systems aren't connecting properly? Like what happens? What does that mean for them?
Absolutely. So all of us know that we are in like industry 4.0 evolution. All of us know that there has been influx of EVs. There have been influx of solar panels, like in terms of distributed energy resources. And think of a scenario of like storm or something, right? Where you do not have any energy stored in batteries, or your grid isn't interconnected with the national power grid. What happens? You end up losing with like a week without power. It can affect your daily life. It affects your customer experience. Like everything comes to a downhill.
Yeah, that's a pretty big deal. Thank you. I was curious about that, which makes sense. Also, what about those new trends? You talked about a lot of different trends, like integrating distributed energy resources or DER. How does integration play a role here?
Absolutely. As we were talking, right, it kind of creates a seamless and an interconnected energy ecosystem for everyone through smart integration technologies like various DERs or distributed energy resources such as solar panels, wind turbines, energy storage systems. Everything is coordinated and managed well. And end of the day, it kind of is connected to your main grid, which will improve your grid reliability. And the integration as such will allow you to incorporate all these renewable energy resources for promoting sustainability and, go a little far away from traditional ways of power generation. Overall, it will enable like a more resilient and an adaptive energy infrastructure that will kind of harness the beautification or the ability of all these distributed energy resources, which can be either located at remote sites where where the energy officials find it difficult to reach, or it can be right on top of my roof where I'm just using some solar panels to get a better benefit.
Right. Absolutely. Thank you for talking about that. That helps a lot. You also talked about driving innovation and improving performance through integration, which is kind of the theme here, really. That's what it's all about. But how do we make sure that our integration efforts are really hitting the mark for our company and our customers?
When we talk innovation, right? So think about the major leap that we are making in terms of AI and ML. I mean, obviously there'll be a little part of apprehension to it, but let's just be optimistic. It will help you to predict the demand and optimize the resource, which will in turn help in preventing the issues and manage storage and distribution such efficiently that you will be enabled to make quick decisions. If you're out of power, probably you can use predictive analysis to figure out which particular capacity or a grid has 10 megawatts of power, to kind of route to an area which is in dire need of that. So the predictive analytics and issue resolution part of it, which will be like very, very supportive and helpful.
Yes, absolutely. Now, looking ahead and tying into innovation a bit too, is a lot of talk about generative AI, artificial intelligence, all these things which tie into the innovation part. But what do you envision as the future of integration in the E&U industry, especially considering the ongoing shifts towards renewable energy sources and the increasing emphasis on sustainability? Like, what do you kind of see as the future, and maybe how does AI tie into that?
Sure. I kind of envision it to be aligned into three facets, right? One would be your smart grid evolution, seamless integration for all the smarter grids, which is optimizing your renewable resources, storage, and demand responses. Second, which is tied to the AI part and innovation, is predictive analytics power, as we just spoke about it. So advanced analytics and AI, which is forecasting for efficient resource planning from all these renewable centric grids to which the whole world is marching towards. And third is the decentralized systems and IoT devices, integration with IoT and edge computing, managed decentralized energy system that will help increase or improve the real-time responsiveness of the grid.
You've helped one of our clients actually with Jeanette, alongside Jeanette. You've helped a couple of our clients really focusing on, integrating their ADMS system, their DERMS, outage management, and really helping them save both money, obviously, and resources and time. And obviously one of them out in California who has multiple challenges at hand, right? Like there's these trees that they can't cut down, but they also need to make sure they're not close to the power lines, starting fires and things like that. So I guess what I'm really just asking is, based off of everything we kind of talked about today, can you tie that into like a recent customer example where they're kind of working on some of these initiatives and kind of how their modernization and integrating different systems has helped them with kind of that side, with kind of that challenge?
Absolutely. I think all of us are aware of wildfires in California Bay Area. Right? It's a beautiful city state. It's beautiful with a lot of trees, but with a lot of trees comes a risk of the tree falling down into an active electrical line, or it's just too unpredictable, and then simultaneously you also have to be like environmentally conscious and then like not chop down the healthy trees, right? So that's kind of brings in the challenge to the to one of our clients, where you just cannot pass those high voltage lines directly sitting like upright onto the poles. Like even if you do that, you have to be like very, very careful about that and figure out alternate ways. So in order to reduce the risk, what they have done is they have invested in the distributed energy resources, way of setting up your energy generation demand. And this can apply for like remote grids, where you do not want to send your employee personnel to, because it's not safe enough for them during the entire part of the day, or even for the scenario where we spoke about that it is very, very risky to pass a high voltage line, and it's just better to do it using renewable resources like solar panels or something like that. So we have kind of solved the challenge where we wanted to give them the consistent customer experience for even the persons who are in the remote grid, to help them report an outage and like get it restored if at all that happens. That is one part of the scenario to address the customer experience. And the secondary part of it was, to the ability of kind of connecting the energy generated by the grid to our main grid, so that you can play it out during using the decentralized approach. So we kind of used our integration platform to give that consistent experience to customers and our client.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And can they see, is there a dashboard or is there a central location where they monitor and manage all of these insights?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So I think you would have heard, I think all of the E&U personnel would have heard about ADMS, like an advanced distribution management system, which kind of gives you a centralized platform to maintain your outage management system, distribution management system, and to top of that, like a dashboard too, which is used by the grid control central folks to figure out which generator, which substation kind of dripped out, or which pole is acting up, or what, right? You have a fancy dashboard to kind of show it all to you. Obviously, I'd say like not 100% of it is in the schematic on the neural layer. There will always be some scenarios where you'll get the call from customers saying, hey, I'm out of outage. And then you'll have to kind of rely to the fallback method of analyzing why it went out. Didn't the meter send out the notification to you that this particular customer is out? There'll be all that situation too. But overall, yes, there'll be a dashboard which the business users and the O&M folks also use to kind of figure out which particular part or premise is gonna go down during adverse weathers or any like planned outage events too.
Okay, great. Thank you. I know you're just so immersed in this E&U realm, and I'm still learning. So that's why I'm happy to talk to the subject matter expert. So thank you. And then I guess lastly, we've learned a lot today. I really appreciate that the blog you wrote that really kind of breaks it down in a way that's simple to understand. That was really cool. Is there any other key takeaways or any message that you want to get out there to companies in the E&U industry who might be planning some of these initiatives or not sure how to start or need help at a certain part of their journey? Is there any kind of like key takeaways or key messages that you want to send to those groups right now?
Of course. I mean, so we at Prolifix have a group of smart individuals or contributors who have had first-hand experience in implementing many of these initiatives that we have discussed. And all our initiatives are customer focused. We make sure that we take care of 3 Ps, right? Remember this: precision and objectives. We make sure we clearly define the goals aligning with your company and customer needs. Second P is the proactive stakeholder engagement. We actively involve with you and we make sure that we gather the insights and our alignment is all right. Third but not least, we make sure we capture all the performance metrics and adapt accordingly based on your feedback and continuous evolvement of requirement cycle, right? So yeah, I mean, we'll be a great partner for you, both on innovative projects and the regular maintenance or E&U projects that are in pipeline, which is kind of, similar to the entire E&U industry.
Right, absolutely. Jeanette was talking about just all of the collaboration and how pivotal the collaboration is, with all these different groups that you're working with. But there is a quote from Tom and Jerry. Never underestimate the power of a well-calculated plan. So that kind of ties into all of this integration and how making sure that our systems are going to be able to keep up with the demand and the future, right? The future's here. So thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it, Swati. It's a pleasure talking with you always.
No, thank you, KP. You made my thoughts run in a very smooth way. You were well prepared with the structure and all. It was all good. Thank you.
Yes. So that wraps up another episode of What's Up in E&U. Join us next time as we continue to unplug more electrifying insights. Until next time, keep shining.